This lesson is about place value order. Please look at the cards and I want you to find patterns in them. Pause the video now and write down what patterns you can find. Now, some of you might have found the patterns that all of these blue cards, there are obviously purple cards and there are green cards. If we take a look at each one of these, we have 10, 10 million, 10,000, 10 billion. All of our blue cards have the word 10 in them. Same with our purple cards, 100 million, 100, 100,000, billion. All of our purple cards have the word 100 in them. And finally, the green cards. The green cards actually have no similar words, but the one thing they do have is this decimal, comma, comma, comma. They all have a punctuation. Another pattern that you might have noticed is that you might have put them in groups with the actual words that were similar. The only one that doesn't have that, so these are all thousands, billions, these all have millions. This is the only one that doesn't have the same thing with an ending name. And it's actually because this is 10 ones, 100 ones, but we don't actually say that in our number system. Now one thing, when I put these in order, and from when you've learned how to do this, we start with a 1, then we have a 10, and then we have a 100. A set of 3 places with the same last name is called a period. Even though this does not say 1, this is actually 100 ones, 10 ones. And these actually do have the same last name. This in math is called a period. Another period is the thousands. 1,000, 10,000, 100,000. They all have the same last name, and this is called the thousands period. I'm going to put these in order going vertically up and down. So we had 1, 10, 100, and then I could keep going to 1,000, 10,000, 100,000. Obviously, I could keep going, but for my sake, what I want you guys to notice is we're going to add some decimals underneath. Now, if you notice, this has a pattern. It goes green, blue, purple, green, blue, purple. Now, one thing about place value is that everything in the whole numbers is actually symmetrical to the decimals, except for this one right here. The number 1 stays in both decimals as well as in whole numbers. When you read a decimal, you say 0 and, this is the and, or you will say how many wholes there are and then you'll say the decimal. So how I know if a word is a decimal or if it is a whole number is these are all decimals. What do you notice about these words? If you can't tell, they all end with a TH. TH tells me that that is a fraction. They actually have the same words as we had before, but now they end with a TH. Now I told you that this is like a symmetrical or a mirror. So anything on this side needs to go this way. So if this is 10, this should be 10th. This is 100, this should be 100th. 1,000, this would be 1,000th. It actually will match the same pattern. 10, 100, 1,000th. Then we should have 10,000th, and so on and so forth.